Okay, now into our program. We're gonna have Les say, this is maybe the most crucial month of the whole year as far as what to do in the garden, because if you're not careful with what you do in the garden, you could kill everything. And what I mean by that is if you have, well, Les is gonna talk about all these different things that you need to watch out for, when to prune, all the different elements, when to start thinking about fertilizing and all of that. So without further ado, here's Les Haight, and then I'll talk about sharpening your shears so they'll be razor sharp, and it will be able to cut the hair off your arm. It's so sharp.
And fend off intruders to your property.
Absolutely. So anyway, here's Les Haight.
Sorry, I'm gimpy. I've got plantar fasciitis. And it is not fun. All right. My ugly face in there.
Beautiful. You should be a model.
Makeup.
All set? All right. As all of you know, especially if you've been here all summer, it was a very brutal summer. Very hard on roses and most any plants in the yard, and hard on people.
Some areas of town, Terry said he'd have hardly any rain. I think I had a little over 2 inches.
I had about 2 inches.
Yeah, about 2.2 inches. And it's been spotty all over town. Super high temperatures, fairly high humidity without the benefit of getting any rain out of it because there wasn't any limiting mechanism. The whole weather pattern was very strange. Maybe that's what we're going to have to live with. I did not lose any roses. I don't have very many, but I didn't lose any. I had some plants that got severely sunburned that I've never had an issue with before. It was just too much. And one of the biggest factors was the high night temperatures. That things just don't cool off, and the plants just don't kind of get that recovery time. A couple of times when I thought we were going to have a really moist monsoon season, when it starts to get some rain down in July, I'll go and clean my roses up, deadhead them, prune them back, and I get new growth almost right out. This year I did not prune them because it was so hot at all. I slept everything out. So they didn't look very pretty. And then about 3 weeks ago, they started putting out all kinds of new growth. We got a little dip in temperatures, we got some fairly high humidity, and that's what really makes a difference.
So are we still not pruned them? Are you still
No, maybe I'm just lazy.
No, I'm just curious because you said you got a lot of new growth.
Yeah, I've got a lot of little, I've got hyperteas that beds about half again this big all over them, but they're nothing to, I won't do any pruning now for about 3 weeks. So we'll talk a little about pruning. Toward the end of this month, we need to have the day temperatures under 100 pretty consistently, and hopefully the night temperatures in the high 60s to low 70s. And the pruning is not your brutal pruning like you do in January, February when you're in Goma. It's just a moderate pruning. We're going to take off 20, 25, maybe 30% of the overall height of the bush. We're not trying to make them all 3 feet tall or all 4 feet tall. We go by kind of a percentage. And take off anything dead, of course, and try and prune down into wood that's about the size of a pencil, maybe a little bigger. If you have bare naked canes, don't prune into naked canes. They're probably sunburned and they're probably looser. I would actually just leave those alone and then do the pruning, hard pruning on in January. I have no red spider mite this year. My roses retain foliage almost all the way to the bottom, which is nice. My roses are all in big pots, 20 foliage pots. A little bit of shade in the very from about 4 o'clock on in the afternoon. But other than that, they're pretty much in full sun. When you do your pruning, we don't have a rose show in the fall, so we're not trying to time the roses from the time they're pruned to the time they bloom, to make them all bloom at the same time, which never happens anyway. But, a lot of varieties take much longer to recover from the pruning before they put out new growth and flowers. The higher the petal count, the longer it takes for the roses to recover from the pruning. Excuse me. So what I usually do is, I like to have blooms over a long period of time. So in the fall, I'll prune a third of each bush. And I'll start on the north side. Because that's the most shaded, the sun's already moving south, and that's the most shaded side. And then I'll move over and I'll prune the east side, sort of the east third, and then the last one will be the west and southwest side. And that gives you blooms of a much longer spread out period of time. It doesn't remove so much foliage off the plant, so that it still has lots of foliage and foliage to manufacture chlorophyll. And we're not shooting for rose shows, so it gives you a much longer bloom. Your blooms will come on somewhere between 35 and 50 days after pruning, again depending on the varieties. So if you prune in late September, you'll probably have some roses starting in early November. And roses in the fall can be really, really nice roses. They don't come on as fast because the temperatures are continuously cooling, the days are getting shorter, but you still get some really nice roses in the fall. Yes?
So, could you say that the north side and then there's a space of time before you go to the east side, and what's that space of time?
About a week.
So it's back to the cooler period?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And again, that spreads your bloom time out over a 3 to 4 week period of time. Some bushes are what I call croppers, especially in the spring when you prune them back, and when that big first new beautiful bloom, every single flower will open in a 3 week period of time. You've got 50 flowers on the plant, and then you're done. It's just a one shot. So this helps to spread that out, and that's pruning to me. That's still, it's not critical how you do it, particularly in the fall. If you don't have a very clean show. You always prune just above where there's a leaf base, like this, because there's a dormant shoot right underneath every leaf base. You can't see it usually, especially in the fall. In the spring you can see it pretty easily, but in the fall. But every single leaf base has a dormant shoot underneath it. Cut off underneath it, or the one down below it's going to come out. And usually that little inch and a half or 2 inches you leave them up, a lot of times that will die back, because it doesn't have any tissue for putting out any growth on it. Fertilizing is everybody that grows roses has their own formula for fertilizing. If you're shooting for shows, Will and Diane have an alternating fish emulsion and Magnum Grow regime every week over about a 3-month period of time in the fall. I use mostly Magnum Grow. Sorry,
Yes, sir.
There's a little can of it back there. It's made by a company out of California called Grow Now. It was developed by Tommy Cairns a number of years ago, and they've actually made a couple of changes to the formula in the last year or so. But it's not a real high nitrogen fertilizer. It's an 8-10-8. So you could burn if you put a whole ton of it on there. But it's a great rose food. It has almost all the minor elements in it, so it covers almost every animal in a form that's usable by the plant. It has It has Epsom salts in it, which is magnesium sulfate. The magnesium is the number 2 ingredient in chlorophyll besides nitrogen. And almost any fertilizer you ever read the labels on has no magnesium in it. So this does have it, and it's one of the things that we recommend that you add to your soils and for fertilizing. Epsom salts is a good source for magnesium. It's magnesium sulfate. It doesn't matter whether you buy Dr. Somebody or others for $10 a can or the house brand label for $4. It's magnesium sulfate, no matter what it is. Has nothing added to it, it's no change in it. So buy the cheapest, find it on sale, grab some extra ones. Comes in I don't know how to say we got started. Nothing comes in 4 pounds, well, flour and sugar do that. Since they downsized the Epsom salts is coming 4 pound containers per year. If you have a lot of roses and other plants you want to use them, AAA fertilizer, we'll be able to get you 50-pound bags of it. And they also sell a product called K-Mag, which is magnesium and potassium, which is the one I use. In the drip later, in the fertilizer suggestions, it doesn't say anything about using Epsom salts in which in fall. I like to put some on, I'll put it on in about 2 weeks, but at the same time I do start doing it. It's completely water soluble, you pretty much can't burn with it. In the wood for a 12-pound box in the rose bush. About, a couple of good handfuls, sprinkle it around, take the hose and wash it down in. It will dissolve almost instantly. If you use it in the house to soak your feet in, don't pour that down the drain. Take it outside and dump it out of plant. Anything, citrus, tomatoes love magnesium. Gardenias love magnesium. So, when your feet are done, take it out and dump it on a plant and pour it down the drain.
And when are you applying these fertilizers?
I'll start in about 2 weeks. I tend to use the Magnum Grow almost all the time. I did find a time-release fertilizer this spring that I've been using some of. But I feed a little bit during the whole summer. The old tale was never feed in the summer. But you're doing so massive in water and you're just constantly leaching all the nutrients out of your soil. So it's not a bad idea to put a little Magnum Grow or something like that on anytime during the summer. Also, just anytime this fall, early fall, late September, early October, is also a good time to put organic material, organics on there, blood meal, cottonseed meal, alfalfa meal, seaweed, fish meal, if you can find it. If you use fish meal, every cat can come and visit your yard. I think your cats are giant cat boxes.
I was just wondering, does the Epsom salts, does that also help decrease your soil acidity?
It's pretty much pH neutral.
Okay.
So it's
Well,
not.
is it the sulfate maybe?
Yeah, the sulfur will help to lower the pH. Our soils are, especially for you people, our soils are very apple here.
What's your pH? What is the pH from that?
It can run anywhere from 7.5 to 8.5. And it doesn't sound like much difference, but pH is logarithmic. It multiplies by 10. But
There used to be a product that was long ago that I can't find it anymore. It's called Dispersol. That was a soil sulfur and magnesium.
yeah.
Yes, do you know that it's wrong a little bit?
You can still buy Dispersol, the plain Dispersol, but the one with the iron in it, they discontinued that about 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know why it's a great product. But Dispersol is soil sulfur has been something that's been used to stuff soils. But the old soil supplements is little yellow pellets, that if you put them in the ground, and you came back 10 years later and dug that soil up, there's still little yellow pellets. But it was almost about 99.9% water insoluble. And they came up with one called Dispersal, meaning that it's water degradable. I don't know that it's water soluble, but it does break down fairly quickly, and it can be used to change the pH in your soil. Roses are real happy around 6.5. It's their best. And our waters are all 7+, so we're constantly reinforcing that alkalinity in the soil and the water. Yes, sir.
How often are you going to be feeding the roses now?
Every 2 weeks.
Pardon?
Every 2 weeks,
Every 2 weeks?
yeah. My calendar's not very good, so it's just like, I haven't put them a lot. And I'm a very lazy feeder, you're supposed to put a tablespoon of this in a gallon of water on each bush. I think a large bush could use 2 gallons easily. And my method is throw a handful, wash it into the hose. You cannot fertilize plants properly if you don't run the hose. Water has to move, either dissolve fertilizer or move across it and break it down. I was in the nursery business for 35 years. And I'd go to people's yards and they'd say, my roses just aren't blooming, but well, they have a drip system. And I could see the pumps of fertilizer. Last month, 2 months ago, that we're still sitting in little piles around the bushes because when you look around the yard, they didn't even run the hose. And you can't garden without hose. It just doesn't work. One thing that I do every morning is I wash my roses off every morning. It's not a watering. It's just washing them out. It helps control the spider mites. It adds some humidity around them. Once the humidity is back down to 13% now. In June, when the humidity is 3%, that washing out the roses humidity lasts about 10 minutes, probably, before it all evaporates. But and watering now is a big bugaboo because temperatures are a mess. But my pots get ready every day, no matter what. If I get a half an hour in inch of rain, and it's partially cloudy with a cooler day after the rain, I might skip a day. I think I skipped a day this summer. The most I had was 6,200 an inch at one time.
So I'm new here, so I'm experiencing this monsoon thing for the first time.
Allegedly. No, you didn't. No, sorry, you missed it.
But it's interesting though, because in Green Valley, which might be different from here, we're at a higher elevation. But, I mean, when it does rain, it is torrential.
Right.
And then it dries.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, how do I determine when to water if I've been getting these crazy rains like almost every other day, every 2 to 3 days.
Yes. We're lucky because we had it here. My nursery was in Green Valley, so. And we did generally got probably 30 or 40% more rain in Tucson than down there.
So I have a soil probe to see if it's dry or not, but I don't understand the rains.
Yeah. You know, if you've had good rains and fairly close together, and the high humidities, you just don't get the dehydration nearly as much. It's hard to tell, and your soil may have been very well prepared with lots of organic material in it. If you put mulches on during the early part of the summer, you probably notice that it's all gone, most of it has dissipated, and it doesn't hurt to add a little bit more compost or something to your soil. Especially in the pot, I top my pots up to about this high in the spring, and they're down that much. because most of the potting soils almost likely go to organic material. And as you go through the summer and fall watering and feeding, that breaks down and the volume of it decreases tremendously over the summer months.
It seems to me, the summer rains we get are so fast and torrential that they don't penetrate, they run off. But our winter rains are usually slow and drizzly, and those will get in pretty deep. So, just keep watering.
So you do that.
Well, not really.
Well, so, who knows? Yeah, but we had usually from late November, our first winter storm. It's usually somewhere right around Thanksgiving, give or take a week or so, and that's where we usually have our first frost. It's right about then associated with that storm. And usually it's not a severe one, and then it warms back up again. But we do get winter rains in December and January. We get cold fronts that come down the west coast, and then they swing in across us. And if they originate up in the Gulf of Alaska, they got a big blast of cold air behind them. So last winter we had a whole lot of nights right just below freezing. 28, 29, and 30, we didn't have any hard freezes, but we had a bunch of nights just slightly below freezing. And the roses the roses don't mind it at all. They actually want that dormancy. So.
I was told in the spring to put bark on top of the roses.
The chunky stuff?
Yeah.
I don't care for it.
Okay.
Cockroaches love it. Earwigs, many types of insects like that. Also, it's raw wood, and it tends to rob nitrogen from the soil as it starts to break down. And it does help to cut down on the evaporation somewhat. I like to use just a compost or mulch out of the bag. And again, we will break down over the summer. At the end of the summer, you know that you put it on there. I've seen rose gardens all over the country. When I go to places that get lots of rain, and they have the mulch on the roses. The public gardens and stuff, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches deep. And we used to get people to come in and nursery and want one night and mulch for 6 roses. Okay, each rose gets a quarter inch. So mulches are very good. They cut down on weeds and they cut down on soil evaporation. Right now, I'm watering my pots every day still. I probably will through all of September. If you have the roses in the ground, I would say that we're supposed to go back up to 160. I would say right now, you'd probably be watering every other day, maybe every 3 days. If you watch your roses, especially if they've gotten some new growth on them, if you go out and you see the leaves are starting to relax a little bit, and maybe they lost a little bit of their shine, kind of a bluish gray look to them, and tell somebody how often to water it is almost impossible. Most water systems that I've seen over the years are poorly designed, poorly installed, and poorly operated, and poorly maintained. I have a water system, that's it. And sometimes most of the time that's not a very good answer. They don't deliver enough water, they don't deliver where it needs to be. You see there's the trunk of your rose bush and the paper sitting right next to it. Well, given the opportunity, the rose will put out roots in almost a pyramid shape. And if the water's right here, it doesn't do that. You're watering right next to them. And usually not deep enough and wide enough. Best way is to put three drippers around your bushes and put them out 12 or 15 inches away from the bush. so you can water all year round.
In Randall, must have added these large halos, and their prices often, I mean, relatively speaking, I would say a foot and a half. And that's been working pretty well.
Right. Well, that gives you water distributed over a much larger area and gives you better water.
I thought they were pretty well.
Right. Years ago, years ago when I had a big roast up in the ground, I had a real old-fashioned barrier system with a hard PVC pipe. And each rose bush had a well about 3 feet across, and each one had a stick in like it, so it flooded underneath the roses. And that was by far the best way to water. And you could get a very good soaking.
The Phoenix way. The Phoenix way.
The Phoenix way, yeah. The flood water users up the road. Well, we have no lawns in this town, we install the lawns all over the place. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law live in a part of Phoenix that still gets irrigation, which nobody here ever saw. Yeah, their yard goes like this and slipped up on the edges, and every 2 weeks in the summertime, the water comes in and floods the yard, 8 or 10 inches deep. They don't water any of their grass, and the other time when it's 120, they don't water their trees or anything because they get that massive deep soap water. And if you did that here, it would cost you about $5,000 a month.
They used to do that at the U of A around the old buildings, the main gate.
Yeah, we're over by the main gate.
You can still see the berms.
Yeah, if you go in the main gate over there, the grass still goes like this, and then up on the edges, and they used to open up the highway.
For those that want to water the entire plant, there's a vortex head. You can buy those at Lowe's, and you can adjust it where it only comes out this big, or it will come out this big, and it circulates, just spray.
Yeah.
And that's what we've used for 15, 16 years? Yeah.
Right. And if you have a drip system and you've got pretty good pressure on it, you can buy what are called shrimp sprayers to replace the little rippers. And you have to put them on a stick, but they're an adjustable head that shoots out about 15 good streams of water. The ripper will come out, if you've got decent pressure, it'll come out probably 24 inches, maybe even a little more. And you can even put those in pots. You run the drip line up through the bottom of the pot, and put the shrimp sprayer in there, up through the drain hole. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different ways you can do it. But getting water underneath the entire bush is one of the things. If you have pots and they're sitting flat on the ground, and you have any trees within a half a mile, you'll get roots that come up and grow up through the drain holes. So right now, especially, it's a good idea to go in and give your roses pots a big twist, put your big gauntlet gloves on, and give them a twist. You'll hear pop, 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 pop. Some of those may be rose roots where they grow in the ground, but almost always it's true roots from somewhere in the area.
From a Texas Ranger, I lost a mini rose for Texas Ranger. A pot on the ground that was about 6 feet away from the plant. And then it just kept declining and declining. I'm just like, no, I'm watering it enough. And then I looked at like, I'm going to toss this thing out. And pulled it and it was solid, anchored to the ground. It was solid Ranger root up in there. That little rose didn't have a chance.
Any of the desert type trees, mesquites, palo verdes, Texas ebonies, many other trees, Terry's got ash trees that we don't anywhere for water. I mean, if there's any of those, they're gonna find a constant source of water, and they're gonna rob your plants of water.
So I have a question because I would like to grow plants in pots. What is the minimum size and what trailer pot? Are we talking plastic, ceramic?
Well, Will and Diane are probably the best rose growers in Tucson for sure, and maybe in the state and some, maybe in the Southwest. And they grow all their roses in 24 by 24 inch pots. They're plastic pots that look like terracotta.
24 inches by 20, are they like square?
Well, they're tapered like an old-fashioned clay pot.
24 inches deep.
They're 24 inches deep and 24 wide at the top.
Kind of like a 15-gallon can?
Well, pretty close in volume, so volume to 15, probably actually a little more. Huh? They're plastic, and I can get them, I still think I can get them. People have been I get them from California, I have a friend that works for me, distributor of many things and over from me. They're fairly inexpensive. Last time I bought them, they were around $35 each. But they need to be stabilized. Those will last 10 years probably. They'll get ugly before they fall apart.
We've had almost for 15.
Yeah.
No ceramic pot.
Yeah.
Burns the root. Somebody told me that at a garden side, I just found that out this summer.
Yeah, the ceramic pots, especially if they're darker color, they absorb so much heat that they'll just fry the roots. The big 24 by 24 come in terracotta color, and they also come the color it's kind of a beige, sort of a beige color. Mine are all the terracotta. And my roses are all not, Little Diane's are all not, some of the other people here have got some. But actually the Botanical Gardens got some from me a few years back. But they all found to be very satisfactory. You can control your soil conditions better, you can control your watering. And do not try and grow roses in the pots. You'll be, in the one they do really high about every 3 months, because they get really bad. And you can't hardly water them. They just don't like to be confined to a small pot. And Little Diane's bushes are 7 and 8 feet tall. They're kind of large. They do have some shade cloth headlands, so they tend to get bigger. But mine are all 3 to 4 feet high or more. In 24 inch pots.
And even the minis will be big.
Yeah, minis. You can put minis in it. Minis, I'd say a 20 inch pot. The trailer pots also come in 20s. I don't know did I miss anything, Lou? I didn't look at your notes that you Yeah, the potting soil that Liz uses and I use is Kellogg's Patio Plus. You can get a Home Depot or Lowe's. It's a really good quality potting soil. Doesn't have big chunks of movement and stuff like that. Lou adds some perlite and some peat moss to his. I'm lazy, I just dump it out of the bag. And I've had very good luck with it. It's worked very well for the roses. And it also works very well for, if you want to grow tomatoes or peppers or something in a big pot, it works really well for that. Fairly water returning, but still well drained. The terra pots that I was talking about, I have about a dozen holes in the bottom of them, about this long and about a 1/4 inch wide. So they drain really well. If you're going to use any other kinds of plastic pots or brands, they only have one hole in the bottom the size of a dime, and you get the drill out and drill some 3, 6, or 1/2 inch holes all around in the bottom of the pot. But again, I strongly suggest you move your pots about this time of year. It doesn't hurt to do it every couple of months. No questions?
Is there in this area a rose nursery? Or does everybody just go to a regular nursery?
Well, you know, we don't have a whole lot of independent nurseries anymore. My nursery was in Green Valley for 35 years. And we sold between 1,100 and 1,500 roses a year. And it was kind of a specialty for us. The only big selection of roses here in town is Mesquite Valley Growers. East Speedway.
And they sell a lot of inventory.
You know, people are going to cut back on growing roses and a lot of things because there's a lot of intensive. It's just something, that's just a fact of life. And I think over the next 10 years, if the climate continues the way it is, and back away and dried up rivers, you're going to just see more and more people and cut back on water intensive plants.
We'll become a cactus society.
We have a nursery across from Northwest Hospital.
Yeah.
They have a very good selection every year of wheat strings.
Right. Yeah, she said they have a good selection of Weeks roses. And Weeks is a rose company out of California that doesn't sell to the public. They don't have a public catalog. There are resellers that sell Weeks roses. I bought 80 to 90% of my roses over the years for the nursery from Weeks. I would buy a few from Jackson and Perkins. Usually the least amount I could get, the smallest order I could get, because they were so hard to work with. The company was.
Is Pointer still in business?
Pointer, I think, is still in business out of Texas. They have a lot of problems with mosaic virus in their roses for years. And some of their roses were on the rootstock. Multiflora rootstock, which does not do well in our high temperatures. And Pointer had some interesting varieties. They were picking up varieties from some of the smaller hybridizers and stuff like that. I bought a few from Pointer over the years, but not too many. When I saw that I was in California and saw that they were filming the roses in the warehouse, I thought, yeah, it's not good. So, and I got to know the Weeks people very well, the sales rep and the hybridizer. So I had a good relationship with them. Our success rate of berry roses was about 98%. And we quit selling berry roses many years ago. They were the true berry roots, not in the sleeve packages. And our last rate to the ones we sold in the public were 20% because they just didn't take care of them. We didn't want to mess with that anymore.
Can you explain what the mosaic virus is?
Yeah, mosaic virus is a virus. It's splotchy, yellow. It has yellow places in the leaves, and it just weakens the plant, makes it so it doesn't take up chlorophyll very well. And it's in either the rootstock that we plant to grow the new roses, or it's in the budwood when you put the buds in. Probably from Pointer, I think it's probably both. It's almost been eradicated.
I have a rose that has it on Portuniana, but I think it came out of the Bloodwoods, Rena Hugo. The beautiful blooms, and it disappears when the heat comes on. Just in the early spring, it seems to show up,
Yeah.
and then leaves are normal.
Yeah, and sometimes it affects the bush to the point where it's almost going to survive. Pardon?
Mosaic.
Doesn't spring.
No, you can't. It's one that you don't spread it with your shears from plant to plant. It's just something that's in the, like you said, there's a rootstock or the budwood.
And then the rootstock, it's because out in the fields where they grow the rootstock and then they make the cuttings, that they have infected plants out in their propagation area.
What about, like David Austin roses, the ones that are grown on their own roots?
Well, you don't have any problems with, them dying, usually, from the winters, with northern climates. You don't have to worry about suckers, because everything that comes up from northern Utah is going to be the same as the top. Some varieties don't do as well on their own roots as they do with their grafted, and some do very, very well on their own roots. The Austin roses have been pretty successful here. First time I tried to sell them at the nursery, nobody wanted them. I ended up taking some of them home. And then they became more and more popular. We found out over the years, though, that in England, when they got 3x3 feet, and when they brought them over here, especially on the West Coast, they got 8x8 feet, the same variety, just because they had a almost year-round growing season instead of a 5-month growing season. But the Austins have done quite well. They're being grown down in Texas. And that's where their propagation nursery goes.
They're popular in the Northwest.
Yeah, they do very, very well up there. Yeah.
Ray Martin, who is from England, he and his wife are really good rose growers. They don't like them. He said they're just so full of disease, and they seem to like the roses from Germany better.
Which one?
Martin's, Ray Martin. So I don't think they grow any David Austin. They just he says like we can't deny they do really well in California and out west.
Yeah. Anything else?
What is your rose show?
A rose show is the third weekend in April.
April 20th will be next year.
Is it called here?
No, it's at the Trinity Presbyterian Church.
Which is downtown.
Downtown.
Just about 5-6 blocks west of the university.
And we'll combine it again with the Iowa Society show, so, we did last year, and we were able to share expenses with the Iowa Society, which it's expensive to put on a road show.
Yeah, years ago, we used to do the gluttons for punishment. We used to have 2 rose shows a year. Yeah, it's spring and a fall show. And,
I don't know how you did it.
it was nuts.
There's a rose show in Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the third Saturday.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it,
the third
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, it's not.
In the Phoenix area.
East side, east of Phoenix. So,
I think it was in the newsletter, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Is there a banquet this year?
there is. I think Glendale's hosting this year.
For you new people, Arizona is the only state that has a annual banquet, and of all the rose societies get together, and they rotate. We used to have, what, 8 rose societies in Arizona?
Yeah.
We're down to 4? Yeah,
One of them's kind of shaky. So
Yeah.
we got to 3 pretty soon.
yeah, there was one in Green Valley for a long time. Yeah. The Rose Garden at East Center, you know where that is?
East Social Center.
East Social Center. Where Canabega, where Esperanza comes into it there. Yeah, that was where we had the rose shows. I planted that garden.
I've seen those roses.
Yeah, and they've done very well. The soil down in that area was very good. That was
Red show in the state. That was
Yeah.
such a nice show.
Yeah, that was old cotton fields years ago. So it was good soil. Probably had some Texas rhubarb in it, but it was good soil. The roses really grew well down there. So,
Yeah, thank you, Wes. If you're gonna cut for the Mesa show, then you're gonna do it.
I didn't do it.
So if you're gonna cut after the Mesa show,
Yeah,
third week, rather than.
third week. But again, if it's over 100, I'd be real careful about doing any major pruning at all. And again, if you're getting 100 where your canes are have lost out on a lot of those.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into that.
Yeah, my grid just most like, I'm not liking this anymore.
You could try the staggering cuts, because Mike Jefferson up in Tempe, he used to show roses at the state fair. In the old days, you would get money for roses, and that was in October. So you get $3 for a blue ribbon, $2 for a red, and $1 for a third place. So he bought all the roses he could, and he paid for his fertilizer for the whole year. But they don't do that now. They don't do that.
I don't know very many people that own roses and shit.
There was just a handful of people in the fence
So
area.
you didn't have much
But he
competition.
had to do early stagger pruning, like he was talking about thirds, just to make sure he had something for the fall shows meetings and also the state fair.
So,
He get pruning now.
yeah, the state fair,
The Del Mar Fair, and that was, for an entire month, every other day. And you got 5, 4, 3, and 2.
Oh, there's more money in California.
But,
So you probably made out like bandits.
pardon?
You probably made out like bandits.
Yeah, we did. But, you know, even when we lived in Temecula and had the 450 roses, we still did the staggering of the prunings so that we would have them to the Del Mar Fair.
Well, you got heat in Temecula too.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of heat in Temecula. Not only from God, but from my brother.
that's why you moved, right? All right, Liz going to show you how to cut yourself. So, okay, I'm going to be talking about sharpening your shears, and really, there's not a lot out there on doing it, and I just got very frustrated one year about 35, 40 years ago as far as what to do in sharpening my shears, because they would get dull, and they wouldn't work, and we would be trying to cut into a stem, it would crush it, and sort of going through it as if you were a surgeon and you have a razor sharp scalpel. So anyway, one day I stumbled upon this book. It's called The Razor Edge of Sharpening. Razor Edge Book of Sharpening by John Jurevich. And what intrigued me is this guy, he took a dull axe, sharpened it in 10 minutes, and he shaved his beard off. I said, I want to learn from this
Just
guy.
to be
So, anyway, I was intrigued because when I read through the book, he didn't say specifically about what to do as far as pruning shears. He talked about knives, even sharpening fish hooks. There's so many different things he talks about, but he does not talk about pruning shears. The same philosophy goes with that. Where basically what he sells, he sold thousands of these kits for the meat packing industry. And he said the best shears out there, remain stainless steel. And that's what the best scalpels are made of when they're doing surgery. And, so that's coming from him and his observations, and he's looking at microscopes to see how long edges take and how long they hold up. And so anyway, within his kit, what he has a very coarse, and then he's got a very fine one. And then he has the game changer in the whole book. It's an edge guide. That's the thing that allows you to take your pruning shear blade, which I show you how to do, and then you just put the back end of the blade here, and then it allows you to go like this. And you don't have to worry to get it on the perfect angle with your hand. It's impossible to do it. I've tried it for years and it does not work. You got to have something stable. I'll show you how that works too. And then the final couple of bits here that you use is this is basically to see if it's sharp enough for biting into this little device here, and then you finishing steel, and if you would find cutlery, you would have this sort of little angle that go through it, and then it makes that edge, it's razor sharp, it makes it smooth too. And so anyway, that's what you do in a nutshell. And the first time I tried it, it was okay, but then the second time I could cut the hair off on it. And so I do this twice a year. Believe it or not, how old do you think this blade, this Falco miniature is?
10 years old.
30 years old. And it's still razor sharp. I haven't had to change it. With a lot of sharpening devices, they take off so much of the blade that you gotta, change it every year almost. But anyway, the first thing you do, also the thing that was passed out, this is a webinar that was given by the American Rose Society early in the summer by Ryan Ambert. He's a general manager of Falco North America. And he went into detail, it was over an hour long, went into detail as far as how you sharpen your Falco shears. And not only that, what grease you use and and how you get, who's ever told you how you get the perfect tension? That's the whole secret. I mean, if you have some of it flopping around, or that it's too tight, it won't go. I'll explain how to do that through what you told me, and it's really interesting. So anyway, the first thing, this is the Falco number 2, and this is the one that we've used for many, many years, and it's been fantastic. First thing you do is you take off this little string, where you just do it like that. And then the next thing you do, this area right here, this is kind of a lock right over here. It locks this mechanism, then you take that apart. Just take it. If you wanted to get closer, feel free to see this. And then it's got this one device right here where you have to do this counterclockwise to get this off. A lot of people are afraid to take it apart, and don't know why. It's important to do it because you've got to change the grease at least once a year so that it operates perfectly. Sure, that's the hard part. But you know what, Falco has made this so well that you can always put it back together one way. But anyway, then you take this part off here, and then basically you put this off. And you see these two ends here, that's where the grease is, right in here. There's only one spot for the grease. And so anyway, the first thing you do is you take off all the old grease, and usually it's filled with dirt if you do hundreds of roses over the course of the year. You take that off. And so now that's fairly clean. You clean the holes out of grease. You see how dirty it can get like that. And so anyway, you do that. You just get all this old grease out of here. And then here, you just pop the blade up. It's held on by these three little pins. And just press it up like that. And then it has grease behind this that was accumulating over time, and you just take that off. And I'm going through this whole process real quick. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is clean that off. You always want to use, believe it or not, the Falco people and some of the other people, you always want to clean this with isopropyl alcohol, 90%, if you can get it. The reason is because it doesn't deteriorate. If you use Clorox or Clorox wipes or things like that, he said do not use that because it's so abrasive that it'll start breaking around the metal. And he said another thing that absolutely shocked me. I mean, I'm a person that's used WD-40 my whole life on everything. But he said do not use it on these shears because it will break down the aluminum. There's some quality WD-40 in there. Who would not use aluminum WD-40 or something? But he said be real careful with anything aluminum because that product, he said instead you use Trayvon, something like that. And then it works better. But again, I've used this for 40 years, it didn't do any damage yet. So I don't really know what to believe because it just seems so odd to me. But, if anybody's a mechanic or worked with machinery, you probably use WD-40 a lot. But anyway, what you do with this is, now you have your blade, you got disassembled, and you have your blade, and this is where you get your edge guide. And what you do is, so I'm going to the edge out and scissor. Okay. So what you do is you have basically a flat side up, and you basically just push this in here, just so it's barely on the back edge here like that. And then it has a little tool that you put a little Allen wrench that you have, you just tighten it up.
What do you call that?
This is called an edge guide.
Did I, see the video?
Oh, you've never heard of it before.
No, he never used anything like this. This is the first time I've ever seen one of those.
This is what this John Durenis, he invented this, and he's a multi-millionaire.
Where do you find that?
If you go to, it's called Razor Edge Systems, I believe is the name of it. And it's in Minnesota, and he sells all these different things, but it's Razor Edge Systems, and that's where you're able to get the kicks. And this is the main thing that I think is just so important. This, again, you put it on the very tip, and then you tighten it up so that it's nice and short, nice and tight there. And then with this really coarse hone, it's kind of like, sandpaper where you have, for learning the number, this is the coarsest you can get. So what you're trying to do is, not on the flat side, on the curved side here, where it has the bevel, you see how I have that just sitting here? You just kind of front to back with that motion. And what you're doing is you're doing that. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but it keeps the absolute perfect edge. And so when you do that, you're going this point and doing that all the way to here, and you just keep doing that motion, and you're trying to get a little burr on the back of it, which you can feel with your finger.
And how much do you charge for this service?
That's the one thing I don't
I'd
do.
rather pay you than invest it all. Well, line up.
I've had a lot of people that out there saying, no, I don't want to do it because you have to get the edge set in there, and then it's just like a 3-minute thing after that. But anyway, you do this.
Why is it two hearings?
We actually did that as a fundraiser for the Rose Society. Charge $15 of air for the clippers and $20 of air for the large lockers. And they would bring them to the September meeting, and they would give them back at the October meeting. But here, I would suggest if you wanted to do something like that, is bring them to the main meeting and pick them up at the September meeting, because we don't use our pruners hardly at all during the summer.
But when you get the edge for those people who want to buy their own. It's difficult to do. I would do them, but it takes a while to do. But anyway, you get that bird, you can feel it. It's a bird that's been southern by running over the course home. You feel that little bird here. And so then what you do is you take it out. And,
Are you doing it in little circles?
you're doing basically little circles to try to get that bird all the way along the edge here from the very bottom to the very top. And then it will start developing. Some might develop here earlier than up here. And you just have to keep going until you have that burr on the back side, which is the flat side. That's the one you want the burr facing with. And then once you get that, so I'm just doing it like that. So if you have that burr set in, then what you do is you take it out. Okay, nothing to do with the very fine home here, where this bird's been set on the smooth downside. All you're doing is you go backwards like this to get that bird out. And then once you do that, once that comes off, then what you do is you do the same procedure with this, let's put it back on. We've got just a hair more shallow than what you had before. In other words, you have a little bit closer to the edge because you're trying to do a double edge. Not one, but you're having another one that's even a little bigger angle. Now here's the razor, here's the smooth fine hone. Now you're just going with this and you're just going, okay. You're not doing this anymore since that sharpness has already been set. You're just getting some of the rough edges out of that. And you just do that. Very, very lightly. You're not pressing really hard. Let you see how it's being done like that. And then you do that, and you can see it's already starting to work out at the time. It only takes about 5-10 minutes to do it for me once you have the thing set up. So now what you do is you have that, it's razor sharp, where you can't even touch it hardly. It's really that sharp, just like a razor blade. And then, I actually have a knife from them I make, these are hard carbon steel that you get from Felco. But I had a friend of mine who was a knife maker, he made me one made out of stainless steel. And that was fantastic, I still have that one too. And, so now what you do is you just simply put it back together. You put this on here, well, there's 3 pins here. And then what you do is you just with your finger, you grab some grease, and you grab it in here, just like this. You can use pretty much any dielectric grease or anything like that.
What is that grease you're using?
It's one of those synthetic grease, but you can get, there's some called dielectric grease, and it's just basically get any sort of grease, synthetic or dielectric, those are the two ones, and there's other ones out there too. But basically, you're just putting that on it, just a little bit on here. And it actually has an area that's inset here that they like to have. But in there, when you just throw it there, that's the best side to put it on. I put it on the wrong side, but that's all over. Okay, so maybe let's go to this side. Because I'm making a mess here, and then, anyway, when you put these together like this, and then you just put this from the back in here.
So those are gonna last forever.
Yeah, well, hopefully. And if not, I can always, if it's year 50 and I need to, this has been worn down so much that I might have to get one done. But you put the screw in from that side and you put this little thing over here, just tighten it down.
What I do is I have 2 filters. So when I take one apart, I have the other one, so every time I put back the other.
A road now.
Yes. No, I turned my note to public at Phyllis Plaza, and someone who sharpens garden tools there, but it sounds as though that's not a good idea.
It depends if they know what they're doing as far as pruning shears. Most of them can do knives very well, but see, even some of those guys, they're butchering.
It was gardening tools. I wasn't working with knives, and I probably was, I just didn't know it.
It just depends now, if the next step on here, you're tightening this down, you're screwing this down here, but then, now, what is the perfect tension? You let this drop, too tight. It's too tight. Ideally, what you want to do, you just loosen this up so that this falls, so that, see the middle of this, if you have the, right in the middle of here, you want this to fall, pretty fall so that it falls about halfway right there. That is perfect tension. If you do it like that, it's going to be too loose. If you do it here, it's going to be too tight because then you can't close it. So that's what they call perfect tension. But you just let it drop and you just keep tightening it until it does that. Well, that's what it's like. But anyway, that's perfect tension, and then now you have a perfect tension. What you do is you put this little thing here where it has the little serrated edges here, and then you put in the screw.
Who do you put the oil on?
Oh, that's going to be the last part for this part here. You just put it on the spring.
Oh,
And then just, all you do is you just put some oil all the way through it here. And you just squeeze it like that. And then just dab a little excess out. And then just here, and that's the only oil you need of the whole thing. And that keeps it maintained. And then this is, you just hold your finger on this part here, this toe, or you tighten it down. And it keeps it exactly in that spot where you have perfect tension, and then you don't have fun. And the other, and then, anyway, I really recommend if you want to watch something interesting, we have an easier method for doing it at Felco, for doing it, where they just have kind of a little horn that you do it with this on, or you can take it off like that. But this really gets the ultimate. And very few people can believe this is possible because until they came up with this, edge guide, you couldn't really do it if you freehanding it.
yeah, I was wondering what the right angle was.
Yeah, they'll tell you what it is, but how do you do that? I mean, you can't, you're not a machine.
Are you sure you don't want to open the business?
It's just more interesting when you do it twice a year, and then you clean it every time you're going to the thing. Let's say you've gone through 25 roses and then it's getting done up. And what you do is you just come where the sink is with your, with the sponge, you get off all the bugs here and here, here and here, and then you wipe it off with that towel. Then you go in and get a cotton ball, and then the 91% isopropyl alcohol, and you rub it on here, 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 and here, that it keeps it, it gets all the bacteria off.
Why do you use 90% alcohol?
That's what they recommend. You see,
I've seen some that,
Seven-year-olds
you put clothing thing, and you have a hand wipe, and makes it, make sure that it's at least 65% alcohol.
yeah, and you know why? Because why I like it is number one, if you have any bacteria like virus or anything like that. You know, the other thing, if you go, I was going to tell you too, is if you know a plant that you have rose mosaic virus that Les was talking about, you only want to use this on that plant first, then you go inside and clean it with the alcohol, and then that kills all the bacteria. But my mom years ago, she had an IBM executive typewriter. Anybody's ever told you use one of those? Well, you have to have it maintained. And then had a technician come in about once every month or two that had a ball on the thing, it was great. But he went in there, and the only thing he would use was alcohol. It was a 91% alcohol, and he cleaned every key with that, and well, that kind of stuck with me all these years. I was just a little kid then, but I mean, it works really, really, really well, and that's how there is to it.
Just for Western.
Oh, okay, for Western Movie, there's actual products out there that you can, ideally, instead of having you leave it out there, it's something, but ideally, if you want to treat this like this is the most important tool you've ever had in your life. Bring it inside. I have a running feud with Diane all the time. She likes to leave tools outside. And, it's like she's... I don't want to mess the belly. If you haven't rested, there's a product, it's an orange. Anybody know what it is? It's kind of a pink product you get at Inside. There it is, there it is. Okay, so use that. And then he actually showed the representative from Falcon. He said, we showed one that had a bunch of rust on it when he had there. He actually took a Swiss Army knife that he had, and he just started straightening it. And that got right off really well too. But I would be scared to buy the finish on here since you have such low tolerance if you want to get this drive through there. But I don't think I would mess with that, but maple jelly, I'm glad somebody knows that. Thank you.
These bugs still have it in Ace Hardware.
Yeah, I'm sure you bought some, 2 or 3 years ago or something.
But anyway, that's it, and then just, keep it clean, and then, you will keep them for your whole life. I mean, these are 30 years old, like I said, and they look pretty good. So, that's it, any other questions?